and welcome to episode 5 of me, Ben Teeley.
And me, Barbs.
Hi, it's the Ben and Barbs fun half hour for you, wherever you are now. Hopefully, uh, nothing too bad. You're either on the way home from work for some nice tea or on the way somewhere nice, even. And you just want to
Yeah.
chill out for half an hour because that's all we are, just half an hour of total fun. That's us.
Oh, yes.
um, We did get a message this week. One of our Sunderland supporters got in touch and asked us to give a shout out to the Bradley Lowry Foundation.
Yeah.
That's a subject close to the heart of many Sunderland supporters, so we do that. If you want to get in touch with the show, it's email us at benteeley@gmail.com, BENTEELEY @gmail.com. So how was your weekend, Babs?
Well, to be honest, it wasn't too great. I had a flat tire. And when I say
Oh,
flat, it was to the ground.
ouch.
Yeah.
Oh, did you change it yourself?
Well, I was going to, but I just thought I'd let someone else deal with that problem. At least I know how to.
God, flat tires. Not too
Yeah.
many to remember, but I remember a couple of times. Was once I was on a busy freeway over here, and if Dave's watching, hi Dave. He was a passenger in the car.
Yeah.
With Jem was in the back, and we're on a road called 59, which is like I don't know, it's 5 or 6 lanes wide each way. And I got this flat, and I parked in the middle of an exit ramp. Should never do any of this.
Nope.
I would never do it again. But Dave was good enough to change it because I just couldn't. I was like, oh God, and he changed it. But I
See,
remember
everybody needs a Dave in your life.
that's right. Yeah,
We want to change the tire
a,
for you.
a big Dave it has to be.
Yeah.
Oh, and I remember we we went to I forgot where we were at, Cincinnati, I think, to watch a baseball game. And Sal was driving his minibus, and he got a flat tire on that. It was
Oof.
a minivan, minibus,
Yeah.
and uh, and Sal's like really big guy, and he couldn't get the nuts off this thing. They
Oh,
hadn't.
really?
He said the tires had probably never been changed in like 10 years. They'd rusted on.
Every time I've had to try and do it, I have to jump on top of the spanner thing because
Yeah,
I just can't shift it on my own. I have to stand on it with both feet and jump.
he did that, but he weighed about 20 stone and it wouldn't budge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it wouldn't budge.
Oh,
And
my
he's
God.
two of me. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, if you can't shift it, I got no chance. So
Yeah, no.
there's a couple of tire things. But I guess it's funny about cars though, because I love cars, and I'm sure a lot of people out there love cars. And so when I first came to the States, as told in the book that you designed the cover on, Ben
There we
in the
go.
USA. One of the early stories in there was my first job here. I, I, I didn't know what to do. And when I first got here, I couldn't work. So eventually, after I got a work visa and stuff and driver license, I thought, well, I've always liked cars. So maybe I should go and sell cars or work with cars or something. And because the people I'd known in England who were selling cars would seem to be doing very well with
Yeah,
themselves, or
I hear that too.
yeah, and they seem to enjoy it. And so I thought, okay, and I picked up the Sunday because you still got the jobs in the newspapers in those days, not
Yeah.
like nowadays.
No.
So I picked up this pile of Sunday newspapers over here, and there was 2 pages of jobs for car salespeople. I thought, well, it must be big, huge adverts. I thought, oh, well, I'll go along. So I put my suit and tie on, went to a hotel for this interview, and this young, smart executive kind of guy met me, and he reminded me of John F. Kennedy back in the 60s, like really positive and well tanned. And like everybody, definitely a northern accent, not a southern US accent. Everybody liked him and all this kind of stuff. And so he said, "So where you going now?" I said, "Well," and I showed him the newspaper. I said, "Well, I'm coming here for this interview because it said open interviews, and I'm going to go across to the one over there that says open interviews, and then I'm going to go to this one. I'll have to get a job." "Oh, don't go anywhere," he said. "Let me just talk to one of the other managers first." And I'm thinking, "Oh, dead important. Right? I must be real good." So, so he walks away, and I sat down in the lounge at this hotel, and he comes out and he says, "We'd like you to start on Saturday." And I was like, "Oh, brilliant. There'll be a slight training period, and 1 week you work till 9 till 6 or 7, and the next week you work 1 till 9, that kind of thing." It's like, okay, I'm fine with that. So I go home and I'm like, "Yeah, I got the job." And I turned up on the Saturday again in my shiny suit. And I turned the corner inside. There was 20 other that night.
So there started 20 people.
Yeah, all of us
Oh,
here.
but you felt really special as well.
Yeah, super special. That was like, oh no.
And then really it was like, oh.
They'll have anybody.
And then all 20 of those turned up.
Yes, they all turned up. Think, oh, mind, the reason that I stayed, because I was about to turn around and leave, but the reason that I stayed was that they explained they were opening a new dealership and they needed more staff, so they were training everybody to go. So I kind of thought, okay.
Yeah, benefit the doubt.
And then as I looked around the group, there was one guy was about 6'8", and he was an ex-pro basketball player. So I thought, what? He's a smart guy. And there was one guy was an ex-rodeo clown. One guy had his degree in, I've forgotten what to get, pharmacy, I think. So he was going to be like a pharmacist. But he thought pharmacists worked too many hours because they go in at sort of like 9 in the morning till 9 at night, and they're locked in this room with cameras staring at them. And he said he didn't fancy that life, so he was going to try sales.
Did he not figure that out before his degree?
Well, I was thinking, like at the dealership, although the promise was a small basic, I was thinking a salary for a pharmacy. I'd rather do that for a couple of years and spirit some money away than work in a commission-based job. But like you say, he had to work it through himself. But those are the characters I remember out of the 20. And the guy training us, I have to give an honourable mention to Bob. He looked like Uncle Fester. Spitting double, bald head, big puppy eyes, and it was really funny because I'm going to use a word. So if you've got your kids listening, you probably don't want your kids to listen.
So mute now.
Because he came over and obviously I had the accent, which was kind of, there was only me from England, of course, and everybody else was all American. And,
really, in America?
I know, surprising, at a car dealership. So Bob comes over and he's like, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, good, thanks, Bob. Yeah, that's a bit surprised there's so many people here, but I thought that give it a try, and I love cars. I thought it'd be nice to sell." And he goes, "What about them Wonkers?" And I was like, oh, Willy Wonka? He goes, "You know, them Wonkers." And I'm like, I'm thinking, oh, dippity-doo. We've got a funny story for you. Like, what?
Oh, I've got it now.
I'm like, Bob, I don't think, I thought Willy Wonka was American, but no, they're Wonkers, you know. And I'm like, oh, Bob, no, Bob.
With a capital A.
Yeah, I said, Bob, it's Wonka. I said, not Wonka.
Yeah, it's an O, it's an A.
I said, if you go running around England calling people a Wonka, they'll be like, what?
And at first I thought you meant he's like wonky, but
But
I
it
don't know
was,
how someone could be wonky either.
it was really funny though, because that was my first major interaction with a lot of American people who I'd never met before, obviously, and who wanted to try and teach me the merits of all their lazy
The
language.
lingo.
Yeah. So at the same place, I used to drive there, obviously, and next door it was a huge store with letters like 20 foot tall across the top that said, oh, what was it? It was it had an L and a Z and and then boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I used to come in and
We
it
have them now.
used to drive me mad. So after a couple of weeks of working there, I went to Bob again and I said, "Hey, Bob, we have this language problem stuff." He's like, yeah. I said, "Right, you got to tell me what's a LZ boy." He goes, "What?" I said, "There, LZ boy. What the heck's a LZ?" "Oh, that's lazy boy." And I was
Yeah.
like, "What? That's
They're here now as well.
Oh, that's terrible use of language." It's like, oh no. So I was on an uphill battle then to try and convert as many Americans as I could to speaking correct English. And I didn't
Sounds like you've got a
succeed.
long task ahead
Oh,
of you.
it's uphill all the way. And
Yeah.
apologies to all my American friends, but it didn't work.
If you've got any funny stories, any Americans that are listening,
Oh,
don't forget to
yes,
let us know. I'm sure
especially
they're out
with the
there.
language. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, and the worst thing was I was selling uh, apologies again to anybody who's driving a Chrysler, but I was selling Chrysler cars, and they were very strange because some of them had great big like 3 liter engines and
Yeah.
V6s in, but they couldn't even go as fast as like an old Mini from the 1960s.
Hmm.
Really slow and not fuel efficient. So
Mm-mm.
I would have thought, well, if it was big and fast, like a Mustang or something, or
Our rolls?
but something that was
Cheap
fast.
rolls.
Yeah, cheap rolls, cheap Jag even,
Yeah, true.
but they were just, I don't know. They had big engines that didn't go fast and didn't give
Hmm.
you any fuel economy. And
They're very
people,
heavy though, aren't they?
yeah, and
Yeah.
people would come in wanting to buy one, and I felt like saying, "Are you sure?" There's like,
What's
did
with
you
the
not?
brands?
Did you not see the Toyota dealership or the Ford
Yeah.
dealership or the Chevy one? It's like,
Other brands are
yeah,
available.
what's wrong with you? I was like, oh no. And I've actually had some people say, "Oh, I'd never buy a car off you." And it's like, well, it's not about selling the car actually, because you're there because people want a car.
Mhm.
And in America, they come in and drive it home the same day.
Yeah.
So you're not really selling the car as much as saying,
Wish it was like that here.
yeah, well, you're more or less just saying, "Do you like it?" And don't get me wrong, there are some, I guess, unscrupulous people in the car industry, but by and large, a lot of people just there to try and make a living. So it's pretty good. And I used to just say, "Do you like it?" And they were like, "Oh, yeah, okay,
Of course I do.
yeah." Well, then
That's why
let's.
I'm here.
Well, so some of them would say, um, "How much is this one?" There'd be a big price on it, like $26,000. And how much is this one? And I'd look at the screen and go, 26,000. And they
What
go,
does that say?
"Yeah." And they go, "No, not that price, the best price." And I'm like,
Uh, two different
"Wow,
sentences.
$26,000." If you want a cheaper car, there's some over there that are
Yeah.
like,
Second hand.
yeah,
Yeah.
some rubbish ones. Oh, the PT Cruisers, they were there, they were rubbish. Yeah. Sorry if you got a PT Cruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh. They're great, really.
Yeah, we love them.
Yeah, really good. Yeah. Actually, they were comfortable because they had like a big kind of driving position chair. But again, it had like this underpowered engine and just feeling of going nowhere very
The
fast.
fact that you've just said the best thing about the car is the chair. I don't want that car. I don't get a car for the chair.
They got us one in that was it was called the Woody edition because the outside was like fake wood looking.
I've seen
Yeah, so it was like a
I hate
throwback to
that.
the 50s when they made cars
Yeah.
with wood bits. So
No.
this old guy come in and he walked up to that one. He was staring at it, and the young person goes over and says, "Hello, can I help you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want this one." And she says, "Okay, do you want to? We'll get a test drive." No, no, I want this one.
Oh, he wants it.
And he pulled a bag of cash out.
Oh,
So I don't know what misconceptions he had that that particular Woody
yeah.
looking PT Cruiser was ever
It's
going
the
to.
best to
Yeah, it was the
buy.
best. It
I'll
must have
have
been.
that definitely.
It must have been reminding him of something from 1932 or something
Oh,
because
maybe.
yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
it was like his first car, so he's gone full circle.
There you go. Had to be because we were all looking at each other going, he's brought to carry a bag of cash in specifically to
Oh,
buy that. And I was like, yeah. We did have there was a sporty car called a Prowler, which was only two seats.
yeah.
And that was $46,000 in sorry, 2002 or three or something. So
Wow.
yeah, that was a yeah. Uh,
Wonder how much they are now.
they stopped making them that year, so probably
Uh,
I think they held value pretty well though because they didn't make a lot of them. So
yeah, there'll be
looked a bit
some out there that are collectors
yeah,
now.
looked a bit like that ZZ Top kind of car thing, but only two seats and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
and that was a fun car, but we only had one, and nobody bought it when I was there. So
probably still there now.
probably well, that dealer's kind of gone. So yeah,
Oh,
they,
I didn't do too well then.
no, they closed a little bit after. But yeah, it's
Is
a
that because
def-
you gave me the best price?
that's the best price today. Well, and
Just
that
take a
that's
zero off the end.
yeah, it's like if you, I guess the internet has thankfully tidied a lot of that up because before you go near the buy-in bit, your price should be already sorted now.
Yeah.
But I guess back in the day, people felt they had to try and negotiate it all down and everything.
Haggle, yeah.
Yeah.
You can even do your finance online now for a car.
Oh, there you go. That's even better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
But
Scary because people can just do it one click.
well, and people might, watch and might be saying, well, why didn't you just reduce the price? It's like, well, we were told by the dealership people that the first thing that if we take anything off the price, it's our
Comes out your
commission.
wage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. That's the first thing. So
yeah.
yeah, so if I wanted to take, because if I sold a brand new car, I might have got like $300 or $400. So if
Mm,
I wanted to take money off, that's the first thing I took off. And it's like, well, I'm not taking any
yeah.
money off. I'd rather you didn't buy one. It's like,
Yeah, someone else will.
absolutely, off you go.
Yeah.
So man, so yeah, it's definitely it was good experience though, because if the two things that were the same but different between US and England is definitely the cars.
Yeah.
Because everything was well, not everything, but 99% of cars here are automatic from then as well. So
True.
you're not getting a gear stick changer thing here. So
Yeah.
but, speaking of changing gears, what about the sports for the weekend, huh?
There was a real shift this weekend, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantasy football wasn't helped.
Ooh, I've not done too bad actually.
Oh, here we go.
I've moved I thought I moved up to second place, but
Oh,
Sunday's fixtures must have just notched me over a little bit.
there
Oh,
you
right, I'm
go.
only 2 points behind Andy now.
There you
So,
go.
Andy, I'm coming for you.
Oh, I would hate to see this way out in front, but yeah, I didn't. You had more points than me this game week, so
I did. I had more
and
points than both of you.
yeah,
Just saying.
I need to watch that. Well, maybe now I'll just scrap my team and put your team in mine. Then I'll always get the same points.
Oh, that's not fair.
I'll be beat.
Yeah, that's true. I could never catch you up then.
Just do wild card and put your teams. Yeah, that would be the way forward.
It would.
Um, But yeah, some good results. That I've forgotten the guy's name at Villa who got a hat trick. They beat Brighton 6-1, didn't they? Let's have a look. Aston Villa. It was Watkins, Ollie Watkins. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a lot of people have been trying to buy him now, and Arsenal did well at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Couple of honourable mentions to Wolves beating Man City and Palace beating Man U.
Yeah, that was a lovely watch.
Well, towards the end of the Man U game, he brought Maguire on. He's chasing the game and he brought Maguire. I mean,
that's why they lost.
I don't think he knows what he's doing anymore.
No, I don't either.
It's weird. It's kind of like he got the job. You know, it's like he used to manage maybe Horden Football Club or something, or Whitby Town, and he's now with Manchester United. He's not doing himself any favors with inspirational substitutions there.
He's not, is he?
Not really.
They need to stop putting on Maguire, full stop.
Totally.
Don't even, just sell him.
That's, yeah. Well, bye, Maguire. Don't even sell us. Yeah, there's the door.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. Well, yeah, Man City losing as well.
Yeah, well, I think that was a good result, obviously, for Wolves, but it's
They had an own goal, didn't they?
It's good that they can't go the whole season. Yeah. You don't want a team to win every game.
No, it gets boring, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
I just expect them to win every weekend now. So when I saw that they were losing,
right,
I was quite happily surprised.
There you go. Well,
because I think this season has been the most competitive of the last 5 years.
For the top end, yeah.
Yeah, we've got Tottenham up there, Arsenal are back up there again.
Yeah.
Man U are down.
I know, aren't they?
Obviously Man City are up, but Liverpool aren't as high either. You know, the obvious ones. It's a bit of a fight.
Well, it might be a bit of irony. He's talking about people from Liverpool being robbed, but Liverpool were robbed, basically. It's like
yeah, they were. I saw that with the VAR.
Yeah, that was. I watched that one, and it was. That wasn't just. I mean, to me, the guy shouldn't have been sent off, and then there was the offside goal that wasn't given. It's like, hang on, is the referee just sitting in his? The video assistant referee, is he just sitting in his booth going?
Yeah.
This is going to sort Liverpool out.
I don't like Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm an Evertonian. I'm going to put them in trouble. It's like, it was definitely loads of decisions against them. It's hard to see how they could, even as a supporter, how you wouldn't be upset by that. But you go back in the day, pre-cameras and pre-VAR.
Yeah,
there was always decisions people didn't like. So
yeah. Well, people wanted quicker and faster, accurate decisions. This is what VAR is doing, but it's still not right.
Still not right.
Because again, people want it quicker, so they're just making mistakes to try and speed things up.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. But we've got Aston Villa 5th, Brighton 6th, which some surprises for the table.
I like the Villa.
Yeah, it's a nice shift up, really.
Maybe I'll start supporting Villa.
Yeah.
And speaking of our teams, the Borough beat Watford.
Yeah.
And sorry, get rid of that one. The Borough beat Watford, and of course that meant that the Houston Texans had to win to keep the connection going.
And they did.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. See,
amazing.
Sunderland beat Chef Wed, which meant the Dallas Cowboys had to win, and they did.
And they did.
Yeah. So the connections.
The stars are still aligned.
Stars. It's still all there. Oh, and speaking of the American football, I did think I have a writing friend called Leslie, Ms. Lupo. So I thought she would have chipped in by now on the comments or something, or to our email about a team, because I know she likes American football. I just can't remember which team she likes, because they all have funny names. They don't call them by Houston Texans, and they used. I'm not even going to guess.
Makes it harder to follow.
Yeah, like Jaguars and things and stuff. It's like, well, hang on. So she should chip in and tell me which team she likes, so we can keep an eye on that for
Yeah, Leslie.
Yeah, what you doing? Not telling me.
Yeah.
So, and I was going to say was and the Astros, after and just so the English people kind of get this bit, 162 games is a season for the Astros. 162. Wow. And it all came down to the last two games for them to clinch their American League West and win it and go into the playoffs. So pretty cool, that.
That is cool.
According to ESPN, they're the first team to do it with a home record, losing more than winning, and an away record, winning more than 20 than the lost. So it's so much better away from home
their way through
than at home, which probably bodes well for the playoffs if they go to somewhere and beat the other team. Yeah. And it did. It literally, after, like I say, 162 games, it pretty much came down to certainly the last three games. Then the last two was between them and I've forgotten what the Dallas baseball team scored, but the Dallas team could have pipped them had they won, but Dallas didn't win and Houston did. So yeah, pretty cool. Nice one.
Yeah.
And spinning back to soccer again, Newcastle won the Mags, of course, at home. So I haven't linked them to a team yet. I'll have to think of somebody over here to link them
to. If you can.
If we can, yeah. Or maybe people watching can give us a team to link them to.
Yeah.
They're in Europe again this week against Paris Saint-Germain. So as this goes out
on
Wednesday.
A good game, actually.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in that.
I typically don't watch a lot of European games, but I might keep an eye on that one. I don't know. We'll have a look.
I'll be keeping an eye on that one, definitely.
Because I normally only look at some of the European stuff as it gets to the the quarterfinals and finals of those games. But maybe I'll keep a keen interest, see what's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
And also this week, I think there's a full schedule on again for Sunderland and Borough.
Yes, there is. I was just having a look there.
The Borough's playing Cardiff.
Mm-hmm.
Think you'll beat Cardiff all right?
I'd like to say yes.
Well, if you
given our current form.
Well, that's 2-3 wins in a row now?
Yeah, we've won 2 in a row.
Yeah, so that's not bad. I think it's 3 if you count the cup game.
If we count the cup game, it's 3.
So that's not.
We'll include that.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you got to keep that momentum going.
That's true.
And last time I said Sunderland were going to batter a team, we didn't. So
so don't say that again.
I won't say that again. No. I'll just say that Sunderland are going to go and humbly play against Watford, and hopefully we squeeze a result out of it. Humbly.
Yeah.
Our dynamic team of magicians on the field.
Yeah. Also, you forgot to mention that Luton got their first ever Premier League win.
Oh, yes. Well,
yeah. I mean, I'm not happy with them because they stole our spot.
Well, because I said they'll only get 6 points all year. So they're halfway there now. They got 3 against Everton. How bad must Everton be to lose to Luton at home?
I mean, I can't believe they're not bottom.
No,
I can't believe they're not fully bottom.
Yeah. Well, and the Everton manager, Sean Dyche, the way that Luton play, the one team you'd expect Dyche to have his team set up right to play against would be Luton, because they play the same.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was looking at Dyche's stuff because he was a good manager at Burnley, theoretically, and a lot of it's because he had Chris Wood, who was young, energetic, and good at holding the ball up front. If you haven't got a big guy up front who can do all those things, you're not going to get very far playing that kind of football.
It wasn't even an interesting match, really.
Oh, terrible.
No, there was nothing.
Well, Luton's goals were from set pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, surprise. That's how they put Sunderland out, because they're set pieces. And we had a team at all average height about 5'7", and they put a team of giants out and walloped us about the place. But that was just boot it long, get it in the middle. Oh.
Yeah, get in the way.
I mean, there's a space, you know. I mean, like there's a way to play that way. I mean, even City occasionally will bang it long to Haaland.
Yeah, they will. He is a big guy.
Yeah, and he can
like
hold the ball.
6'4", I think.
Yeah, and he can hold the ball up. So then,
yeah.
you know, if you can do that, power to your elbow. But you can't, like at Everton, you got Dyke in charge, and he's got Dyche, whatever his name, and he's not. He hasn't got a big guy up front to do the hold up play for him. It's just such a wrong fit. It's glad I don't support. I've got a friend out there, hi Gordon, who supports Everton. So,
let's not say too much then about Everton.
Yeah, well, he's probably mad at me now, but it's that's fine. Well,
have you heard about the Ryder Cup?
No,
about
I
the
did
guy.
not.
Oh, you should see the guy diving into the into the lake.
Oh, what was he doing that for?
He was kind of invading the, I don't want to say pitch, but invading the space of putting.
Wow.
It wasn't the green, it was the fairway, but
Right.
he ran out and then dived into the pool. Well, not pool, sorry. He dived into the lake and then got out, then made everybody clap and then jumped in again. There's a really funny video on Twitter, I'll give him that.
Do you think he'd had a few too many shandies?
I think so.
Well, let's be fair and let's upset everybody who plays golf. The only way golf could be possibly entertaining is if you're drunk.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, the concept of golf, you're literally hitting the ball as far away from yourself as possible and then going after it.
Yeah,
I just can't get it.
Well, what I don't get is why anybody watches it. Why you would want to watch another person hitting their ball
away from themselves.
Yeah, it's not even at all like
yeah.
Like I mean, tennis is interactive.
Yeah, true. It's
watching
like back and forth.
Yeah. Golf is just I mean, you may as well go on your own and knock your ball around out. It's just don't get it. So if you're a big golf fan and you want to complain to me, then or to Barbs, then our email is benteeley@gmail.com, BENTEELEY. And don't forget, there's the book with the really long title, the book with the groovy, not stolen idea of cover. And there's also School Days. So
yeah.
And with that, it's time for us, my friend, to say adios, amigos.
See you all next week.
That's all for now.